Well, to start with, if you guys please introduce yourselves and tell us where you're originally from.
Well, my name is Jim Banzett, and originally, as a small child, I was from Oklahoma, Kansas area, and my parents and my sister and I all moved to Southern California in about 1964, and I graduated high school there, and again, I had an apprenticeship at the Long Beach Naval Shipyard, and I had a very nice long career there of 25 years, and they began closing down the facility, and we took an early retirement.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and I'm Elida Banzett, and originally from Southern California, and same thing, worked at Long Beach Naval Shipyard, that's where we met, and 27 years there, and took the golden handshake that they gave us and went on the road, and it's been exciting ever since.
So how long have you guys been workamping?
Since actually since '98.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually retired in '94,
Mm-hmm.
and we cruised around the country for about a year and a half or so. And a friend contacted us in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we went down there and worked with him at a little shipyard at Ingleside for what, 2.5 years?
2.5. Yep.
2.5 years.
Okay.
Saved enough money for a bigger motorhome with a diesel engine in it that would carry all the stuff we had without being overloaded. And in September of '98, wasn't it? September '98, we took off on the road, and our first camping work camping job was
Ponderosa Ranch.
well, not really. It was at
We did volunteer.
we did the salmon. Yeah, we did a volunteer
That's
job
right.
at
Up
a
at
salmon
the-
hatchery
for the
just
Oregon.
outside of Corvallis in Oregon. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we did that for what,
2 months. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Very interesting job. Very remote. We
Yeah.
were there by ourselves most of the time, and took care, fed all the salmon, and chased the birds away,
Oh,
and
funny.
mowed the lawn, and picked up all the stuff. It was great. It was
a
neat-
fun job.
Yeah, it was a fun job.
Yeah.
It was a fun job.
And then we went to Ponderosa Ranch. Again,
Yeah.
we found both of those jobs in Workamper News.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Ponderosa Ranch was the old Bonanza theme park up in Lake Tahoe on the North Shore.
Yeah.
On the North
Yeah.
Shore of Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Fantastic job.
And then we took the winter off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we ended up going then to the History Association, Grand Canyon
Okay.
Association, and working the South Rim for 1 year and the North Rim for 3 years.
Okay. And that was like a visitor center or a bookstore, you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was-
The Natural History Association runs the little bookstores, and they're usually in little visitor centers. And then the proceeds from the sale,
Of the
the
books,
profits of the
yeah.
books, goes back to the Grand Canyon, the national park, for educational programs, literature, and things of that nature.
Okay.
And we work side by side with the national park interpretive rangers at the visitor centers, and it was great because working for the associations, you get to know so much about the areas. Plus, the rangers are there, and you get to pick their brains, and you just learn all kinds of great stuff. Plus, you know, you're living in one of the most beautiful places in the world. All kinds of
National
hiking.
parks.
Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah.
That was a great one. You know, the natural history associations are great places to work. They really are.
Yeah, yeah, we've done. That's what we've mainly done.
Yeah.
Because we ended up leaving there and going to Mount St. Helens, working for the History Association at Mount St. Helens, and when we left there, we came back to Southern California and got real jobs for a little while. kind of camping world, you know, that type of real job.
Okay.
Did that for a couple years, and then we ended up going to Death Valley, to the History Association at Death Valley.
For the
So-
winter, and then
That's when you decided to go get your.
yeah, we went to Florida, Bradenton, Florida, outside of Tampa, and I went to a RV technician school for what was it, 10 weeks, I think.
10 weeks, yeah.
10 weeks. And you know, I knew most of the stuff already, but this was more in-depth, hands-on. They actually had equipment that you could take apart and troubleshoot and put it back together again for all the RVs.
Cool.
And then I took the national test for certification as an RV technician. And we had spoke about before, we were going to start a little small business, a little mobile RV dealership in Southern California, but that's when the RV market took a dive, and so we ended up taking a job out of, once again, out of Workamper News, Yellowstone Park Service Stations, and they picked us up, and
5 years later,
That's-
we're still here.
Sure. So you guys obviously enjoy working with people.
We
and
do.
oh, absolutely,
Very
yeah,
much.
absolutely,
Very much.
Yep.
Yeah, if you don't like telling 100,000 people where to go to the bathroom,
Yep.
every single day,
Yeah.
it's not for you to work with the public. But,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, it's one of those you always keep it in mind, is that even though you heard the same question over and over again 20 or 30 times that day, that's the first time that person walked in there and asked that question. So you always got to keep that
That's right.
in your mind and keep it fresh. Otherwise, it can get really cantankerous at
yep.
times.
Yep.
Understandable.
Yeah.
But we really enjoy our lifestyle.
Yes.
We really
It
have,
has
so.
been. It has been wonderful.
Yep.
Haven't missed real work for a long time.
Sure. All right, well, let's talk more about your work camping positions here with Yellowstone Park Service Stations. And I guess what was it initially that turned you on about this position?
Yellowstone National Park.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's right.
Live in Yellowstone
yeah.
National Park for
That's
5
right.
months out of the year.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then it was basically for you to go into being able to do the RV repair side of, mechanical side of.
Well, yeah, and it was, once again, we had worked for the History Association. We both enjoyed that. And then, not having a garage or anything, I just kind of, hey, I wanted something to do, and I just love fixing stuff. And so that's why I got into the RV repairs. And this was not so much RV repairs, but it was automotive and towing and, hey, opening cars when they locked their keys in it.
You got to do a lot of tinkering.
Yeah, I said, hey,
Yeah.
I said, that sounds like fun. And then she was looking at, man, I can work in a gas station.
That's right.
So,
So-
hey, we're not working side by side, but hey, we're still in the same location and get our days off together. And,
Yep. Yep. And it's been great. It's a more physical job for me because where we are, we do fill propane tanks and RVs with propane. So it's a heavier lifting job for me. But it's been
Well, and
it's
the
been
hours are a
great.
little different too. It's not
Right.
8 to 5.
Right. Yeah,
For
you're an 8
me,
to 5.
I'm 8 to 5.
Yeah.
And then if I have, if my schedule comes up, I have the duty at night, then I'm on for that 24 hours. And if a call comes in that a car is broken down after 5 o'clock, or someone's got a lockout, or hey, it's a flat tire, or hey, they need a tow, then I go down to the shop and get the tow truck or whatever I need to do and go over and take care of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're on call, but you get to be here at home.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I work sometimes morning shift, sometimes night shift, and we're open from 6:30 to 10 at night. So
Yeah, during
I'm,
the peak season.
Yeah, during peak season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the hours start condensing back down again
Right.
as the season goes away, as we start going into closing season.
Right.
So I work varied hours, but we always have the same days off. And that's always something we check before we ever take a job because that's important to us. I don't care that we don't have the same schedule, but as long as we have the same days off,
Right.
and then we're always looking for a 40-hour-a-week job.
Okay.
We're not into working 24 hours or something like that because a lot of times that barely pays for your site. And we just, if we're going to do it, let's
Yeah, I mean,
do
at
it
this
and
point
get
in
it over
time,
with,
I mean, hey,
so.
we're still
Right.
relatively healthy and
Yeah.
outgoing, and hey,
Yeah.
we can still do the physical work. So right
Yeah.
now, I just said, hey, this
Yeah.
is what we're going to do. And mine is 8 to 5, and I get an hourly rate for that 8 to 5. And then if I have a call after hours, whatever the total cost of that after hour job is in labor, I get 30% of that, and it usually works out to quite a bit more than the hourly rate does anyway.
Yeah.
And usually
Oh, there's times
after
you-
10:30 or 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
you don't have any calls because everybody is checked into the hotels or they back to the campground or whatever. So usually your evening calls are from 5 to 10 or 11 o'clock at the latest, and, unless you have to tow one out, and then it's a 4 or 5 hour tow to Gardner or West Yellowstone.
Oh, boy.
But here again, you get to 30% of that, which is tidy
makes
little
up
sum.
for it.
Tidy
Makes
little
up
sum,
for it.
yep.
How
Plus-
often? Oh, go ahead.
Plus, when you're driving through here at night,
Oh, that's when
spectacular.
he comes home
It's
with all the.
spectacular.
I'm so jealous sometimes.
I'm driving that big old tow truck, there's nothing else on the road. The full moon is out. You're driving along, the Madison River or the Firehole River, or any
animals.
and the animals are all bedded down alongside the road, and you can see all the elks and their antlers and everything sticking up. Or hey, you'll see the bison laying alongside the road, or you'll see one just lopping across the road. But the full moon at night and the shimmer across the water, the streams and things, it's just it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And so, how often do you have to do the on-call evenings? A couple times a week, or
During the for me, during the summer, we usually have 4 technicians that are on. Well, 5 of us, and then we have the other 4. And I usually let everybody take that during the summertime
For the kids.
For the kids,
So that they
because
can
they're
earn
here to
more
try and
money
make
to go back to
some
school
money
with.
to go back to school,
Yeah.
or hey, they've got
Because
a project they're
yeah.
working on or something.
Yeah, there might be times you don't have any calls at night.
Right.
And then there's other times you might go
Yeah.
out 2 or 3 times a night.
Right. Now, at the beginning of the season, I usually have 2 nights, and then at the end of the season, which starts usually about now, mid-August, when the kids are going back to school and college, and then there's usually 2 of us. But this year we've got 3, so again it'll be 2 nights a week.
okay, great.
So it's no big deal.
That's right.
Yeah, and let's hear more about the type. You said you do filling of propane,
Right.
and
We fill propane, and then we sell the gasoline, and we sell junk food in the store.
so you're running a cashier.
So we're
quite a bit.
I'm running a cash register all day
Okay.
long, and answering people's questions all day long, and stocking, and I do some of the ordering as the assistant manager, and then put the orders away when they come in, check them in, put them away, and kind of be there for the kids when they make a mistake on the cash register to get them out of what they did in the beginning, and then they figure it out, and we don't have those problems during the middle of the season. And again, when the end of the season comes, sometimes I'll have to work a split shift with the other manager to come in and open and close, and then go home during the middle of the day. But that's usually only for a couple of weeks. And so, as I said, the physical part of it for me is lifting the propane tanks and crawling under some of those little Class A van. I hate those things.
Oh, no.
Anyway, motorhomes that are out there. But it's taught me what to look for in our next motorhome, how easy the propane is to fill, and, that type of thing. But, yeah. And then working with the kids has been wonderful.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy working with those kids. I learn so much, and it keeps me young.
Keeps us young.
Yep,
It
it
really
does.
does
It keeps us young.
Keeps us in contact with what really goes on.
That's right. Yep. What's going on out in the world. Yep. And then I teach them too.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
Yellowstone Park service stations. We have, what have we got? 6 gas stations.
7.
7 gas stations, and we have
4 repair
shops. We have a repair shop at Canyon, here at Fishing Bridge, at Grant, and Old Faithful.
One of the Old Faithful.
Yeah.
There's 2
And
stations
so-
there.
Like I said, most of the stations have at least 4. Ours, we have 5 because we're so busy with repairs. And we do the gamut of work. We don't do engine and transmission and all those types of things because of the amount of time that it takes to do it. But we do radiators, water pumps, alternators, starters, batteries, all the flat repairs, new tires, all those types of things.
Yep.
Oil changes, and then RVs. Hey, we try and do anything and everything on an RV.
Yeah.
And like I said, this
yeah.
job here is so much different because it's not like working at a dealership where it's an RV, an RV, an RV. You'll have an RV, then you'll have a car, you'll have a truck.
You'll have to go tow somebody.
Have to go tow somebody. Have to go give somebody a jump start. So it's always different. It's never the same
Unlock
thing.
their car.
Yeah, unlock their car if they lock their keys in it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is a very unique spot.
Yeah.
And some of the kids that I've worked with, I've been able to show them how to work on the RVs, how to work on the refrigerators and the furnaces, and why isn't the batteries charging? And it's just something to add to their repertoire, so that they later on in life, they'll have something else to go to. Most of the kids here that I work with are usually in college, going through as
tech
automotive
school.
engineering or automotive technician or something along those lines. And so most of the time, they're really open-minded to something else besides just a car and a truck. An
Sure.
RV. This You know, a
lot
lot of
more
when they
to
first
it.
come in an RV, they just kind of blend into the background someplace. And they go,
Is there an engine in that thing?
I don't know anything
Yeah.
about this, you know.
Yeah.
But tell them, have no fear, come on out. You know, we'll get you going on it. And they usually do. Yeah, by the end of the season, they're pretty well versed in the
In fixing RVs.
In fixing RVs. Yeah, as many
Minor
come
things
through.
on RVs.
Usually it's just, hey, a battery issue, or hey, a loose connection, or you know, a water line's leaking that's got a bad seal on it, and you know, it runs the gamut.
Now, you guys
Yeah.
said you work with a lot of kids, as
Yeah.
you've been calling them. So, what percentage would you say is work campers versus local hires or, you know, college kids?
YPSS does a pretty good job of canvassing different colleges and different technical schools.
Cool.
And a lot of the kids that come back,
Right.
their parents worked here.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, so that's always fun to. They have their experiences from their parents, and now they're developing their own.
Yellowstone Park Service stations, hey, as far as I know, we're the only work camper couple.
No, the ones down.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The ones at Old Faithful this
Yeah,
year.
and
huh?
then they have a couple of single ladies that are working at a couple of the other stations.
Right.
And they have had they hire the older people as well, okay? The life experienced people, that's what we're called.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we're life experienced people. We're not old. But they hire, usually each station gets one, you know, maybe
Okay.
not, but they do try to hire a variety of ages. And like last year there was 2 of us that were in our 50s and 60s.
Right.
So, but
How many people do they hire usually
Oh.
in the season? 75?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 75. It may be,
75.
Right.
what are you, 10% maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all
Okay.
along those lines. Yeah.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And so you guys, you're at the Fishing Bridge location this year, and you've been doing this 5
5
summers
seasons,
now.
uh-huh.
Okay. Have you always been at Fishing Bridge, or have
No.
you moved around?
Our first season was at
Grant.
Grant Repair and filling station, and they had another fairly decent little RV park up there that we parked in, and the business down there is different because it's so far off the main road. It's unless you're actually going to Grant to stay there at the campground or whatever, you don't even know it's there when you drive by, and so the business there was a lot different than it is here. But,
Yeah, so the last 4 seasons we've been up here.
right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And this, let's see, the RV area that we're in here, it's just an employee
Correct.
campground, so it's
Right.
nice.
Right.
You feel pretty private and secure
Oh,
back
yeah.
here.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yes.
But you are interspersed with other RVers.
Correct. And
and-
we're here with Xanterra and Delaware North, and
Okay.
some contracting people
Yeah.
will come through.
Right.
With the positions you guys have, what compensation are you provided?
We get our salary, and then because we're both assistant managers, we get our site.
Okay.
And so that has helped out a lot,
Yeah.
not having to pay
Right.
the site fee.
And since every year we sit down and we renegotiate the hourly rate and our compensation and things, so we've been able to now they've taken care of the electric.
Yep.
All right, so that's part of the perk that we get now because we've been here for the 5
5
seasons.
seasons, yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, hey, every year, hey, you sit down with them and hey, go over. Hey, do you feel you're being adequately compensated? And hey, if you got any complaints, tell them about it.
Yeah.
And hey, they'll take it under advisement.
Yeah. But
uh,
YPSS has been
no, it's
great to work for.
Great company to work for.
They're
Yeah,
super
terrific.
people.
Yep.
Super people.
Yep.
Yep. It is a good company.
Okay. So is there, since you guys said you're assistant managers, is there another manager then that's often on site that you guys are?
Right. Yeah, and it's usually for
Report.
us, it's the kids.
Yeah.
That's what I've always said. I don't want to be a manager anymore. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
The kids have a resume. It looks good on their resume to say they've managed something.
Yeah.
And so I'll
Yeah,
just
we
kind of
just-
stand in the background and try
long
to
as they're
keep them
not
from
doing
doing
something
something stupid. But
Come completely off
Yep.
the tracks or something,
Yep.
you know. We just kind of.
it's theirs to manage, and they do a great job of it. So yeah, Yeah,
Cool.
and it's worked out very well for us.
Good experience for them and a lot of fun for us to watch.
That's right.
I bet, sure. And do you guys have full hookups here at
Yes.
this site?
Yep.
Okay.
And in
Full
fact,
hookup.
here we have
Water,
propane
sewer.
as well.
Oh,
If we
great.
want to hook up
Yeah.
to propane, we have that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
A lot of the fifth wheels and stuff, rather than have to take tanks out, hey, a couple of times a month and take them down and get them filled, they just hook you up at a propane over
X6
here.
in the winter on the weekly basis.
Yeah,
when-
exactly.
In the beginning of
Yeah,
the season when
right.
there's snow on the ground.
So hey, bring the hose
Yeah.
over, and hey, we're essentially all electric and diesel.
Yeah.
So we don't need the propane. The only propane we use in the coach is the cooktop.
Cooktop, yeah.
Okay.
So we don't have that problem, but yeah. But it's a nice
Oh,
added feature
absolutely.
at this
Yeah.
particular area.
And this has to be probably the nicest.
I think so for
employees
employee RV park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Yellowstone. So.
Yeah.
And they've got a really great laundries over here.
Laundry and shower facility that's it's wonderful.
Yeah, it
It
is.
really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I assume we're pretty remote, so I'm sure it's you guys utilize a satellite. There's no cable here,
Correct.
right?
No cable.
Correct.
And no Wi-Fi, you said?
No Wi-Fi. There's
Okay.
for 5 years now they've been telling us we're getting it.
New cell phone
We
tower
don't have
going
it yet.
up,
Yeah.
Hey, I know where the foundation is, and I know where they just haven't finished pulling all the data cables and stuff
Yeah.
in yet.
Sure.
And as soon as,
Sure.
once they get all that in,
Yeah. We're
then they'll be
hoping
able to
maybe
put the
next
tower up.
season they'll
Yeah,
have
we
it.
keep
We'll
hoping.
see.
Do you guys have cell service here in your RV?
We would have if we had a cell phone tower.
Nope. We have
so we have a
we-
dial-up.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do have
okay.
a hardline
Yeah.
phone.
Okay.
and,
Is that provided with your site, or that's
No,
something
no,
you
no,
have
we
to?
do that.
Yeah, you gotta
Okay.
go through.
We do that.
Have to go through the phone company and
Yeah.
have them come out and actually
Hook it up.
for
Yep. And then we have dial-up internet, which gets us through.
you. Right.
And,
You do a couple of emails a day, maybe.
yeah,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
If I
Email's
yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
Everything
if it's,
else.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the,
everything
it's
else.
the
is
looking
really
on the
slow.
internet.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
paying bills. That's a tough one.
Like I said, it's good enough that hey, I've been able to send my resumes out and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we
For the
can
data.
go over to the dorm. They just got this season. They just got the DSL service
Okay.
over there, so we can go over there and use the internet over there with the kids.
Well, when does your season start? When do you guys usually arrive, and when?
Early
do you
part
leave?
of May.
Yeah, we usually the last few seasons we've pulled into Bozeman, Montana, and we stay there for usually a week or so.
Yeah.
And,
Just to get our supplies.
yeah,
out.
get our supplies.
Costco,
and,
get our fix.
Yeah, hit some of the cool restaurants in town there, and then usually the first week in May we drive in and usually open up by
Usually
later
the
than the
8th to
15th.
the 8th
Yeah.
to the 12th, somewhere
yeah,
around in there.
Yeah, no later than the 15th.
Yeah, I think it was
though.
the 8th this year that we
Right.
opened of May.
And then we're open until
the end of September.
end of September or so.
Yeah. And then we'll head out again.
Okay.
So
And we do, our grocery shopping. We drive
to Cody right now.
Cody, which is 80 miles.
Yeah,
one
sometimes
way.
well go down to Jackson because
Yeah.
we like to go to Jacksonville,
Jacksonville,
area.
Wyoming. Yeah,
And
like to go down there because hey, they got some nice restaurants.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
And the Tetons
Oh,
and,
that's
and all the
right.
moose that are out.
that's right.
Go down there.
I have to go see my
Yeah.
moose.
Well, we've noticed here the weather, definitely varies quite
Oh,
a
it
lot
does.
from evening to day. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you guys want to talk about the weather as you experience it from May to the end of your season in September?
Well, we
Well,
get here and
yeah.
it's snow.
Yeah,
There's
usually
snow on the
when we
ground.
first get here, this season, it's been beautiful.
It was It's
was
been
hardly
hot.
any snow. Yeah, it's been hot and
We come up
hardly
here
any
because
snow.
it's not hot. It's been
Yeah,
hot.
Yeah. Now, last year when we got here,
Oh,
you couldn't see out the windows
no.
because of the snowbank
snowbanks.
that was out here.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
anywhere from 8 to 10 feet.
And we spent the first week here digging out the propane
gas
tank
station.
and the gas station
Mm-hmm.
and the dorm, getting all the snow off of the roof of the dorm, and then he went down to Grant to dig in so they could turn the water on for the dorm
Yeah,
down
same
there.
thing. The dorms are close together. I mean, they do have a snow blower, but they're too close together and they can't get in there. And so you have to, if it's that deep, you have to go down there and hand
But
shovel.
it was
Wow.
But
it was over the 6-foot high fence. The propane tank you
Yeah.
couldn't see this
Yeah.
this last a year ago.
Yeah,
This year we came in and there was very
Yeah.
little snow, just
Okay.
a little bit on the ground.
yeah. But
And,
hey, the temperature does vary. I mean,
And normally
from
this
daytime
time of-
to
yeah.
eve time, you can have a 30-degree change.
Yeah.
You could be 80 out right now, and by tomorrow morning you could be down in the 50s or 40s.
Yeah.
And so you,
Normally, this time of year, we're usually in jackets and long sleeves. This is exceptionally warm to us, you know, to be this.
but we like the change. I mean,
Yeah.
we always
Yeah.
have. So.
And
You
it's
just have
such
to
a
be
short
prepared.
Oh yeah,
season.
absolutely.
For-
You gotta
That's
be prepared for it.
that's what we enjoy. Is it's such a short season up here
Yeah.
that every week or two when you drive out, it's changed.
Yeah.
You know, you've gone from snow to all of a sudden now it's green to all of a sudden the flowers are out to all of a sudden now they're down dying and the trees are turning colors. And it's the
Yeah.
end of the season, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's all condensed into the 4 or 5 months we're here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That because it's
Yeah, but
usually,
it's just one of those when you come into an area that's high elevation like this, you got to be prepared for. I mean, it can snow in July.
yeah.
I mean, you always have to have.
Any month of the season
Yeah.
it can snow here.
Mhm.
So now that's the other thing is the elevation here. We're almost 8,000 feet.
Yeah.
You got to be able to take that.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you got a bad ticker or your lungs
Yeah.
aren't working too good,
Yeah.
or
Right now, I'm
emphysema
having a
or
lot of
something
trouble
like that,
breathing.
boy, yeah, it'll
But,
it'll
yeah.
knock you down pretty good.
Yeah, and then with fire season, you never know what's going to happen with
Right.
fire season. The Park Service is great with the employees as far as protecting them. You know, that if the fire is coming too close or something, they'll evacuate
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I mean, we've done that
Okay.
in Grand Canyon, you know, that you can be evacuated for fire. It kills your business also. You know,
Right.
snow will kill your business at Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Not as much here,
Yeah,
but
yeah. This the
snow
weather's
can,
been so nice that the season really hasn't slowed down.
it
that
has
much.
not slowed down
So,
that much. And we
we'll-
started off with a bang because it was
Yeah, it was
so
great.
nice up here, and
Yeah.
all the locals would come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, last year was very slow this time.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season,
Right.
the first 4 or 5 weeks.
It was tough.
Hardly anybody.
It was tough.
Because they couldn't get through the pass because it was always closed because of the avalanches
Yeah.
Oh,
that
man.
were going
Yeah.
on.
So I mean, you have to be flexible. You know that, but that's what makes it so much fun. Is it's never the same
Oh, yeah.
year to year.
Yeah.
You know, you don't always work with the same people, and the weather and the visitors change, and you know
Let's
you
put it
always
this way.
have new
It's never boring.
experiences. It's never boring.
It's never boring.
No,
No.
no.
How was it driving your RV up here in the snow?
Well, they clear the roads.
Okay,
All right?
okay.
And
Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
usually wait until the afternoon when the morning ice
That's
has
right.
melted off the roadway,
Okay.
and then come on in.
Yep. We've never
Work
had a
for it. No,
problem.
never had a problem.
Good.
Like I said, the first season, the only problem I had is the defroster didn't work very well on the country coach,
Yeah.
and the glass kept fogging up a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
yikes.
That was
But other
our
than
problem.
That was our problem, not
Sure.
the road problem.
Sure.
But yeah, they keep the roads. I mean, if the roads are bad, they're not going to let you in the park.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they take really good care of making sure that the roads are safe for everybody
That's
to be
right.
out on.
That's
So,
right.
They either sand them. They don't use salt in the park, but they will put
Sand down. Yeah.
and they will put the cinders down.
Uh-huh.
You know, so if it does get icy up in the passes and stuff, they'll cinder them. And if it gets too bad, they just close them down for the night. That's it.
Yeah.
What advice, or is there anything you would want to tell folks who are looking at working for Yellowstone Park Service Stations in the future? Maybe things to think of or be aware of, or
Basically, you need to love to work for the public. You know, you are going to be dealing with them all day long. And if you don't like doing retail sales, or if you don't like working around people, don't become a work camper for YPSS. You know, for me, again, it's the physical side of the job. You have to be aware of that. Now, some of the other stations, you don't have to do propane, but if you're put at a station that there is propane, it is a lot more physical, especially even here compared to Grant, because we do a lot more RVs. We'll pump a lot more propane here than Grant does. But it's mainly, you got to love working around people and the public, you know. And the nice part about this is they're on vacation, so they're having a good time and they're happy. When we worked Ponderosa Ranch, it was the same way. They were in a theme park.
Yeah.
So most all people are happy. So you have that 2% that nothing's going to ever make them happy, but the rest of them all make up for that. So it makes it just a fun job. It really does.
Well, and my side on a repair side, It is physical. It's a physical job. I mean, hey, you're usually on your feet for probably the 8 hours a day. There are times that, hey, you may get a call for a tow at 8 o'clock in the morning. You may be in that truck out there picking that car up, taking it someplace else, and then on your way back, get another call for another tow, have to pick another car up and take it someplace else. So, hey, you can be in that doggone truck for 8, 10, 12 hours. So those are the things you have to be aware of. You know, hey, automotive repairs, RV repairs, flat tire repairs. Hey, some of it's easy, some of it's hard. You know, hey, some of it is very satisfying when you're able to, hey, get somebody back on the road again. But you also have to take that aspect of, hey, this one here, he can't get fixed. You know, and they're in the middle of their vacation. All you can do is say, hey, we're going to do the best we can to get you out, get the repairs done, and get you to a place where, hey, you can at least rent a car, maybe continue your vacation. Do everything that we can to ease the pain on them so they can continue their vacation. And that aspect of it is very satisfying. So, but like I said, hey, as far as repairs, you gotta be versatile. You got to be able to, hey, take a look at this, and hey, if you don't know it, hey, usually one of the other technicians can, or hey, you can get on the phone to somebody, and they do have internet connections, and hey, we're able to look all this information up and get it all fixed up. So, but hey, it could be a dirty job at times.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And hey, you're on your hands and knees and on your back and
Yeah, he
underneath
does come home
vehicles.
smelling sometimes
So,
of diesel.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
Diesel is diesel.
Yeah.
But like I said, hey, if you like using your tools and you like learning new things, this would be a great job for you if you
And
want to
it's
do
not
that.
the same thing. You're not working just on a Ford
No.
every single day. You're
Every
working
single
on
day is
everything.
something new every
Yep.
day. You know, before coming here, we'd done so many things. We kind of knew what we were looking for, but this company has been so great. It's going to be hard for us to leave.
Yeah.
To take another position. I mean, we did this with the Grand Canyon. We had to tear ourselves away from there.
That's right.
But like I said, we're enjoying this so much right now that hey, we may continue to do this for another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Jeff will like hearing that.
Yeah. Did you work with Jeff during the application process?
Yes.
Sure
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah. He's the one that hired us and that we talked to and worked out all of our deals with. Yep.
Yeah, Jeff's been he's a great manager.
Yeah.
And he's good, and Hal's the same way.
That's right.
I mean, they'll do anything they
Anything for
can to
ya.
keep you happy.
That's
you know.
right.
And like I said, the organization from the owner on down. You know, hey, if you have a problem, hey, tell them what the problem
That's
is.
right.
And
They'll
sit down. They'll sit down and try and
Figure
work
out
a resolution out
Yeah.
to it. So, like I said, you couldn't find a better outfit to work
Yeah.
for.
And if you're unhappy, it's your own fault.
Yep. That's exactly right. Yeah, you couldn't have said
Yeah.
it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.